What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kids Talk Sports podcast. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 teams in college basketball right now. College basketball is starting to get into full swing, and I'm going to give you guys my predictions for my score predictions for each first round game of the college football playoff, with the college football playoff starting tonight on Friday night. And then I have a shout out to give and a question week at the end of the episode. So let's get into it. So we'll start with the college basketball. So college basketball right now, a lot of teams are about 9 to 11 games in right now. I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 teams. I'm going to give you guys my insight on teams, how they're doing, who their top scorers are, and how far I think they can go in March. So number 10, I've got Marquette. They were pretty good last year with Tyler Kolek and Osei Gadara. But I think that I think Shaka Smart, their coach, is he's a really good mind for college basketball. He's young. I think Marquette. I think they're kind of like the Penn State of college football. There's like they can win some big games, but they don't really win the big games, but they have really good losses. I think Marquette right now number 10. I think as the season goes on, they're going to get better, but I do not think Marquette is going to make a far run in March Madness. At number 9, I've got Oregon. They look really dangerous right now. They have beaten Alabama. I think they're 10-1. They look really good. They've beaten some good teams. They have a good big. They have good guards that can shoot the ball. I think they're really dangerous. They're a really underrated team. I think they're dangerous, and they could go really far this year in March. Number 8, we've got Kansas. They were number 1 a couple weeks ago, but they ended up losing back-to-back games to Missouri and I forgot the other loss, but they do have good wins like against Duke. But I think this Kansas team, they're kind of like last year's Kansas team. Kansas is a team that wins the big games in the regular season, but then when it comes to March, they can't win the big games. I don't think this Kansas team is going to go very far this year in March. I think they have a good starting lineup, but I don't think they have enough depth to like make it through the tournament stuff. So I think Kansas, I think they're a little bit overrated. I think they're a pretender. They don't have enough depth. Number 7, right now, this is my national championship pick right now. This team right here, the Florida Gators, are now 11-0. They're my national championship. They're my national champion right now. They have 2 really good bigs. They have one big that's really tall, but he's also battling an injury right now. Their guards can shoot the 3 really well. They have a good press. They play good, solid defense, and they have a really good coach. They're coming off a good win against North Carolina. This Florida team, they shoot the 3 really well. They have big guards that can go inside, and then they have really good bigs, and they play great defense. This Florida team looks really dangerous. They're currently undefeated, and we'll see how far they can go. Number 6, I have Alabama. Alabama, they look really good. Mark Sears hasn't been playing that well, and Alabama's still in the top 10 in rankings. Latrell Johnson has stepped up a lot. Alabama has really good depth. Grant Nelson's been playing really well. Him and Mark Sears are that really good 1-2 punch that's gonna be really good in March. Then Alabama has shooters on the outside and another good guard for Mark Sears. So I think Alabama is a really dangerous team to win the national championship. I think Alabama and Florida are my 2 teams right now that are my national champion favorites. Number 5, I got Iowa State. They have some good wins. They also have some good losses. They were up a lot at halftime against Auburn earlier in the season. Iowa State's just really solid every year. They have a lot of depth, I think. But again, like they're kind of like Marquette. I just don't think they're good enough, and they have enough depth to really reach that top level in college basketball. Number 4, I've got Duke. Duke. The thing is, I don't think Duke is going to go very far in March Madness. John Shire, he doesn't have a lot of experience like Coach K did. And Duke is one of the youngest teams I've ever seen. They got Cooper Flagg, who's a freshman. They got Sion Williamson, who I think is a freshman or a sophomore. They got Isaiah Evans, who's a freshman. They have a lot of freshmen. They have Kalum Maluach. I don't know how to say his name, but he's also a freshman. But Cooper Flagg is the face of this team, and if they want to make it far in March, Cooper Flagg is going to have to lead this team. But I don't think, Cooper Flagg's a freshman. We're early in his career, but Cooper Flagg right now doesn't have that scoring aspect to lead. Right now, he hasn't shown that scoring aspect that he has to lead Duke against these good teams. But they do have a really good win against Auburn, who I think is the number one team in the country. Number 3, I've got Kentucky. They're coming off a loss to a Clemson team that is solid. But Kentucky, they lost a lot of players. They lost John Calipari, but I think they're going to bounce back really well this year. Number 2, I've got Tennessee, who's ranked number 1 right now, currently in the AP poll. Tennessee, they look really, really good. They have said him Jordan Gaines. He is tough. He's their leading scorer right now. He's been playing great. They have a lot of good depth. Tennessee looks really, really good. And then my number 1 team, I've got Auburn. They're kind of like Florida. They have Johni Broome, who I think Johni Broome's the best player in college basketball. So they have the best player in college basketball. They have 2 really good shooters from the outside. Then they have a good guard that can bring the ball up, handle the pressure, and play good defense. So I think Auburn is the most well-rounded team in the country right now, and I think they have a really, really good shot at the national championship. So again, my college basketball top 10 rankings are number 10, Marquette, 9, Oregon, 8, Kansas, 7, Florida, 6, Alabama, 5, Iowa State, 4, Duke, 3, Kentucky, 2, Tennessee, 1, Auburn. And then the other section of this episode, we're going to talk about the college football playoff. I'm going to give you guys my score predictions for each first-round game. So let's start with Indiana Notre Dame, which is happening tonight while I'm filming this episode on Friday. Indiana versus Notre Dame, I think this is pretty obvious. I've got Notre Dame winning this 24-14. Indiana, they're going to have to go into Notre Dame in the snow and win a dogfight. This is going to be epic to watch, but Notre Dame, I just don't think Indiana can win the big game, and I think their Cinderella run comes to an end against my national champion pick, Notre Dame. Then the second game, we've got Texas versus Clemson. I think this is going to be one of the best games to watch. We've got 2 high-powered offenses with 2 not very good defenses. I do have Texas winning this game 28-25. I think Quinn Ewers, Jaden Blue, I think they're going to step up. Gunnar Helm, I think they have too much of a high-powered offense to face Clemson's high-powered offense with Cade Klubnik. But I do think Texas will win this game. It's at Texas. It's going to be tough to go into Texas as Clemson. This right here, this game is going to be the best game to watch. This is what I'm looking forward to. We've got Ohio State versus Tennessee. I have Tennessee winning this game in a shootout, 35-31. 2 of the best offenses in the country versus 2 of the best defenses in the country. Tennessee, I think, has the best defense in the country. But they also have a good offense with Squirrel White, Nico Iamaleava, and Dylan Sampson. Ohio State, on the other hand, they've got a good defense with Caleb Downs. But they also have a really good offense with Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, and Jeremiah Smith. This is going to be an epic game to watch. But I think the key to look out for here is Tennessee's run game against Ohio State's run defense. Ohio State has had one of the worst run defenses in the country against Tennessee's one of the best run games in the country. So we'll see. And then the last playoff matchup is SMU versus Penn State. I got Penn State winning this game 21-10. SMU, they're not going to be able to handle it in a whiteout at Penn State. Penn State is finally going to win a big game against SMU. So again, I've got Notre Dame over Indiana, Clemson over Texas, Tennessee over Ohio State, Texas over Clemson, Tennessee over Ohio State, and Penn State over SMU. And to end off this episode, I have a shout out to give. So shout out to Caden, who said they think Penn State will get to the semis. Georgia has a good defense though, and they think Oregon will go all the way to win the national championship. Ohio State beats Tennessee, Notre Dame beats Indiana, Texas beats Clemson, and Arizona State. So they have Oregon winning it all, but they have Texas going pretty far and beating Clemson and Arizona State. So shout out to Caden. Thank you so much for answering the question of the week. And for this week's question of the week, it is what do you think will be the best game in the college football playoff, and what is your prediction for that game? So mine, I think the best game that will happen in the first round is going to be Tennessee versus Ohio State, and I have Tennessee winning 35-31. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace.